What's up everyone? We are back with another 5 of a kind. I am back from my hiatus and hopefully I will keep uploading for a while longer. First of all, before we get into the run, I'm sure some of you were wondering where I've been. The truth is, I've actually been in the community still. I've just been focusing a little bit on Versus, which unfortunately has not been doing super well YouTube wise, so not many uploads coming from me, but you might have seen me on some of the other channels that are covering Super Auto Pet, so you did get your dose of Flame 96, I am pretty sure. But I am working on a big project coming up in the near future. But while I'm working on it in the background, you will see occasionally an arena run upload from me. So here we go. We can begin with this lovely 5 of a kind swan that we're about to get in this run. And the beginning is actually superb as we find a swan plus a giraffe, so we can scale it up right from the get-go. We also find a camel which we sold a duck onto, so it becomes a 3-6. Against most teams, a camel that is 3-6 is going to carry all by itself. Unfortunately, against this puppy pack opponent, they do have quite a bit of attack on their front line, so we end up losing. And I think this turn is going to be played out very peculiarly, if I remember correctly. First of all, we do find the snail, which we're of course going to take as we did lose last turn. And then we find even another snail, so we're going to sell out of the camel, which most of the time you're definitely not supposed to do. But as we are going for the 5 of a kind swan, we want to be buffing up our swans as much as possible, so here we go. We do take a ladder loss on the chin to a kind of weak looking star pack team, but it's perfectly fine as we are going to get some more snail scaling. In the meantime, we're going to be looking for garlic, which I believe is going to be very crucial to have on the front line. We also find yet another snail, which I might sell the giraffe for. It does amount to more stats than a simple +1/+1, so here we go, we're taking it. It also gives us a potential level up on turn 7. With this kind of team, you really want stuff like monkey, maybe any kind of scaler to synergize with the swan. Thankfully this time we do manage to win, which is extremely important. If we did fall any further in hearts, I believe it would have been very difficult for us to recover. But now we can very easily transition into our turn 7 pivot. We can prepare multiple level ups. We have 2 level ups ready for us to go next turn. And I'm looking for a meatball on the second imposition swan here. Unfortunately, we don't find it, so we take a salad instead. Unfortunately, salad does not hit the targets I wanted it to. I wanted it to hit the frontline 2 swans, of course, but it's still going to be good enough to win the turn. So now the miraculous turn 7 has come. Let's see if our preparation is going to pay off, and immediately we do find a monkey, so I will say that is an absolute win. We also find my beloved seal. Let's go. We're going to take that, of course. I believe it actually does synergize pretty nicely with the team, as the snail has provided a lot of HP scaling, but we're kind of low on attack, so seal is going to be lovely for us to have. At least it's going to be lovely for us to have for 1 or 2 turns. It's going to fall off very quickly if we don't find a level. In the meantime though, we do pick up another win. The seal is the lone survivor. Would you look at that? It's so incredible. And now we're going to try to set up for yet another level on turn 9. We do find a swan in the shop, so that is going to be our level up. And I guess we take it this turn. Maybe a little bit of a mistake. I was hoping to find another monkey or another seal. If we had found one of those, it would have been very easy for us to find yet another level up on turn 9 via a chocolate. Unfortunately, no luck on that front, but we do find another swan in shop. And I believe now our ultimate end game plan is going to be to find one of the gold reliant scalers. Turtle Pack has a lot of them. We do have cat on tier 6, we also have dragon, both of which work extremely well the more gold you have. And of course, when we are having 3 swans on the team, 2 of which are level 2, we're going to have tons of gold. And we do get very lucky with a turn 9 level up into a dragon. So here we go. We have our dragon, it's level 1.5. Next turn we are almost entirely going to dedicate in order to get the dragon up to level 2, and then we can start scaling up like crazy. In the meantime, Monkey is going to provide sufficient scaling for us as we pick up yet another very important win. So now that we're at 3 hearts, I believe if we do get lucky enough to get the level 2 dragon, the arena win is going to be relatively easy for us as a whole. You can see I am preparing for the level 2 dragon by freezing all of the tier 1s that I see. Unfortunately no chocolate still, but here we go. We finally do manage to find it, so the monkey can go. And we can pick up most likely a mosquito in order to pop a potential melon or kill a scorpion. It's a low percentage play, but when it does work out you feel super smart about yourself, so that's what we're going to be doing. Let's take a look if it's going to work out or not. I believe that 1 HP that the mosquito dealt as damage is actually not going to matter in the slightest, but we do manage to win regardless, so I see that as an absolute win once again. And now we can just enjoy scaling up relatively brainlessly as we cruise along to the finish line. You can see a ton of stats gotten each turn, in part due to our preparation, freezing a lot of tier 1s along the way. I don't think we need any further than a level 2 dragon. Curiously enough though, I believe we could have very easily gotten a 5 of a kind dragon on this arena run as well, seeing as how many dragons we're about to see in the relatively near future. Once again though, we hop into battle. You can see it's kinda difficult actually to win against this team. Of course they have a seal, so it's a given that they would be extremely overpowered. I do not mind surrendering a loss right there. But now we can continue scaling up even further. I believe most of the teams are not going to catch up. As you might have noticed already as well, I am playing against all packs. And as Turtle and Puppy are the 2 best packs at late game scaling, maybe Star Pack can be considerable as well if they find their level 2 Ostrich relatively early on. I believe we're going to be at an advantage in the late game, even though we have no pets with in-battle abilities, just because of the amount of stats we have. Like look at this Star Pack team or this Golden Pack team barely has stats above 10, and we can destroy them extremely easily. As we continue to scale once again, getting very lucky with multiple tier 1s in the shop, so that is lovely. Of course we are looking for the 5 of a kind as well, let's not forget, so we should be looking for any swans that we might see in the shop. You might even consider it greedy to be scaling up with the dragon still, as we are so far ahead. Maybe it's a better idea for us to secure the 5 of a kind instead, but I'm pretty sure with 15 gold per turn we're going to be finding our 5 of a kind relatively easily, or so I would hope. This is definitely not some kind of foreshadowing that we don't indeed find it, of course. Here we go though, we pick up another win against this very cool Wolverine team. We find a beaver in shop as well, so the scaling continues. Here is the second to last swan coming up on our 8 wins, so that is extremely lovely. We're going to keep that frozen while we scale up a final bit. And hopefully finding at least one more tier 1 pet so we can cycle in one more buff. Here we go, we find an otter, which I believe is what we're going to take, and we're going to either finish on the swan or the mosquito. I believe finishing on swan is actually a little bit wiser. It will give us 1 extra gold next turn. I believe we're done scaling with the dragon, so we can very easily sell out of it next turn. And we're going to have 18 gold in order to find our final swan. Surely 18 gold is enough, right? Surely we won't get unlucky and we won't find a swan that we very desperately need. Like look at me, I'm not even buying the melon just because I want to make sure that I want to find the swan first. And only now does the shop give me an extreme amount of tier 1s now that we have committed out of the dragon. But here we go, we roll down and we roll down and we roll down, and unfortunately we find the swan 1 gold too late, so we're not going to be picking it up. not on this turn anyway. We're going to try to position for a loss, putting our weaker units up at the front and our stronger units at the back. And hopefully this is weak enough to at least draw the turn. We get kind of lucky facing this very strong looking unicorn pack team that actually counters us pretty nicely, and it also ends up being a draw. So that is perfect. Now we find an extra swan in the shop, which is nice. I don't think we really need it. What we can do actually is we can keep it frozen in shop, and if we find any tier 1s, we can now cycle with the dragon once again. Unfortunately, we only find more swans, maybe a little bit excessive, but we go for a third level 2, not that we really need it. And we're going to be finishing off like this. This is going to be the final turn of the game, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy, as always, I hope that you like, sub, do all the generic stuff, expect some more uploads in the future, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.